recording. Hello and welcome to Points of Light. This is our Epiphany series for the Arkansas-Oklahoma Synod, in which we are lifting up different congregations' ministries, just things that they are doing outside of worship to help other congregations get some ideas so that they can steal away for Jesus, as our idea is that all ministry has been adapted and changed based on our circumstances. So I am Becca Midiki-Conlon. I am the Director of Evangelical Mission and Associate for Youth and Young Adult Ministry for the Arkansas-Oklahoma Synod. And with me, I have Amare, who is a lay member of Good Shepherd in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and they're here to talk about the transition closet. So I'll hand it over to you, Amare.
Hi, I'm Amare with the Transition Closet, and basically we started in 2021. I wanted to say last year, but year before that. We're on year 2 now. And we started because basically transitioning is expensive, and it can be a lot for a person to transition from one gender to another. And that's not always something that life gives you, the finances for, the closet for, or necessarily all the gender affirming undergarments or other supplies that a person might need to transition. And so our idea was to create a clothing closet from the clothing that people don't need, and to find a way for one need to meet another. And so people can clean out their closets and get rid of stuff like clothing and accessories and shoes and handbags and, all those great things. And they can, use those things to love on the LGBTQIA plus community, which is in our state has really been hurting a lot due to a lot of laws. And that was our response to it, was to just show the community love. And luckily, as we got into the ministry, we also got a great opportunity through the GC2B binder program to be able to give out 150 free binders a month. So we've given away about almost 2,000 binders now. So we've given away a lot of binders at this point, and all over the world. We've provided shipping for them, and that's pretty much our story. We have various events like clothing swaps, and we have some talent shows and other little stuff that we do, and we have a lot of other community stuff that we support, and that's what
those who don't know, a binder is basically a garment for chest compression.
Yes.
That is, it can be quite, a lot of trans individuals will first use like ACE bandages and the like, and that can actually be quite dangerous as far as cutting off circulation or causing chafing. And so binders are specifically made for that and are a much healthier version of that, correct?
Exactly. So we get a lot of people that come to us using unsafe binding practices, and binding just means to wrap around or to compress an area. And so people will bind their chest, sometimes to make their breast tissue appear smaller or flatter. And the binders that we get from GC2B are safe binders, and especially if the people know what they're doing that are helping them with them. But they are safer binders, and they allow the people a safe opportunity to deal with their gender dysphoria, as opposed to what you're saying, like ACE bandages or duct tape, which can cause things like fractured ribs or punctured lungs, and can be actually very serious.
I did not know it could be that serious. I was thinking more skin issues, but
no, it can be
well.
actually very serious.
And then your physical space for the closet it looks like it was maybe in the church building. It looks like it maybe was once a small office or a small classroom, correct?
So we've moved around.
Oh,
I wish I was there right now. I'm actually not there right now. I'm at my house. It's snowing right now. So I'm working from home today. Well, several days of the week, but we started our first opportunity for the transition closet was actually when it was just a rack at queer camp, and then we moved into a small closet over the course of queer camp and afterwards, and then we moved into a small room now, which is a little bit bigger, where we have several racks, and then we have several racks up against the wall as well.
and then what does it look like if people need to use the closet? Do they need to make an appointment? Do you have set days of the week and times that you're there?
So there is somebody at Good Shepherd Church who can let you in during normal office hours. And it's fine to go to the closet anytime then. But if like you need an appointment, let's say maybe you don't feel comfortable going to the closet alone, or you want somebody to help you pick out clothes, or maybe a binder fitting, something like that, then you schedule through our Facebook page.
Nice. And if a congregation wants to, and maybe not take on doing this themselves, but want to support you and the ministry that you're doing in Fayetteville, what would be the best way for them to do that?
If somebody wanted to support us in Fayetteville, honestly, just get in touch with me. That would probably be the easiest way. And my number's on our pages, and you can always text me. Usually text me is the best way to get a hold of me. Or you can email me through our pages, or there's always like 1,000 different ways to contact us too. There's our Facebook page and our website and all of that.
Good. And I'll link to all of that in the Facebook comments for this, and
yeah, we have all the
socials.
Well.
So good. And what I love about this ministry is it was a simple need that you saw, especially with queer camp that is already a ministry of Good Shepherd, and just saw this little need of clothing, but it's something that congregations can repeat anywhere, regardless of it. And we were talking before we started to record that the need for clothing is everywhere, even if it's not just transgender specific. There are clothing needs for people who need professional clothes so that they can have a job interview. And with that, maybe teach people how to tie a tie, because a lot of people don't know how to do that.
And we do offer clothing and stuff like that to everybody. And we don't really discriminate against anybody. We want everybody. We have plenty of extra clothes. One great thing about the ministry is everybody loves the ministry and everybody likes giving to it. So there's always an abundance of clothes. One thing I'll get into it in just a second, but it will be an abundance of clothes, so you won't have to worry about how much people take, or how many people take, or whatever. So as many people that want to can come. You don't have to worry about not opening your doors to somebody else or anything like that.
Well, that actually leads to, do you wash the clothes before they're donated, between when they're donated and when they're handed out? Or?
So usually no, but we do ask that everybody launders them before they bring them. And we have some rules that have been established that it's kind of a way to make sure the clothes are kept in better condition. We have a rule of no garbage bags and no plastic bags, just because that can sometimes interfere with the quality of the clothes. And for some reason, people seem to care more about them when they have to bring them folded in boxes. It just seems to be that way, rather than people being able to bring them wadded up in trash bags. It's a little different. So that rule usually helps a lot. And usually asking people to do quality over quantity is the best. We have special days that we do. And I was going to get to this in a minute, but so we are a no waste closet. We are connected with a local vendor called NWA Rags who recycles any unwanted clothing that we don't want. So we do have special like days for our clothing swaps where people can bring whatever and we'll end up sending it over. And, you know, if it's stuff that they don't want, we'll end up sending it straight over to NWA Rags and stuff like that. So we do have ways for people to ethically get rid of clothes. But we do ask that whenever they're donating to the closet to pick quality over quantity.
Yeah, so if you are getting rid of it because the zipper is broken or there's a hole in it, it should just go straight to NWA Rags.
Yes.
If it's just, it doesn't fit you right, or you don't like the style of it anymore, that should go to the clothing closet, not.
Exactly. Exactly. That piece that's still great that you just, it isn't you anymore, or it doesn't fit you anymore, you know, something like that. It's perfect. But, you know, anything that, you know, is just absolutely hideous, or, you know, if you wouldn't wear it yourself, you know, don't expect somebody else to, basically.
Yeah, if it has a bunch of holes or the zipper's busted and not fixable or whatever. So what are some of your other rules that you have? Because it made it, you sounded like you had a few others that you've learned from experience.
Well, and again, we have nothing on taking. That really hasn't been a problem, because there is a little bit, and I will say you have to make sure people are very comfortable, and it will take a while before people start coming, because it is just so hard at first for a lot of people in the LGBTQIA community to trust churches to begin with. So there is that first, you know, bursting that little bubble that you have to get to at first. So don't be surprised if you have a lot of clothes that you just sit on for a little bit. And that is one thing I will say if you're opening your own. But as far as rules, it's again, just quality over quantity is our biggest rule. And nothing, you know, nothing you wouldn't wear yourself, you know, be respectful of who you're donating it to, you know.
Excellent. Any additional advice that you would give to somebody who might be thinking about opening a clothing closet in their congregation?
Oh, definitely do it. Definitely do it. It is, it's a great experience. It's a great way to care about people and love on people. It goes on, it's something that everybody can do. You know, everybody can clean out their closet and get rid of clothes and even shop for new clothes for stuff. I mean, sometimes, you know, there's people that just need stuff that you don't even have in the closet, and you need shoppers and stuff like that. So there's even people from the congregation that can do stuff like that as well. So.
Excellent. And yeah, this is also a ministry that can be attached to another ministry you're already doing. As Mari said, this started as something for queer camp, but my former congregation had a food pantry and would kind of became a clothing closet as somebody cleaned out a lot of their stuff. And then once people saw that those donations were taken, and so we just had a rack available during the food pantry as people were waiting for their orders to be filled for food, they could go and take from the clothing and every once in a while people would clean it out because, oh, these shoes have been here for 3 months and nobody has taken them. It's time, let's get rid of them. But over a very simple ministry, I think somebody took maybe 5 minutes at the end of when we were cleaning up, taking clothes back up that might have fallen down. So a very simple ministry that you can do for, again,
Yes.
the reason clothing is needed. So
yes, clothing is very needed, and a lot of people have a lot of clothes sitting around. It's just who we are as a culture. When you get into it, you'll realize just how much. I cannot begin to tell you how overwhelmed with clothes you will be once you start getting donations, and make sure that you have, my biggest advice is make sure you have something else that you can do with the clothes that you aren't going to use. Because at first that was our biggest thing is, you know, we were trying to ethically use everything that we could and trying to throw away as little as possible. We were still, going through bags of stuff to be thrown away that wasn't usable. And before we found NWA rags, and it's just a lot of people don't know this, but clothing is just as bad for landfills as plastic. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the things that we try to be aware of is the environment and how we impact the environment as well. And so I would just make sure to recommend to definitely, find an organization that deals with clothing.
Yeah, that's a fantastic partnership, and they're all over the place. Even if you aren't in Northwest Arkansas, maybe Northwest Arkansas, NWA Rags might not be there, but there are other clothing recycling companies, and some of them, side note, will even just give you, there's one, and I can't think of the name of it, that will put sheds on your property, on your church property, that people can drop off clothing at, and they give you a small amount of money actually for that rent of the space based on how much you collect every month. That's another way you can just be ethical about clothing choices here in the United States. So good. Anything else that you want to share as we wrap up?
I would say definitely reach out to, brands that do undergarments for gender affirming undergarments, and see there's a lot of them that give back to the communities. And we get that, you'd be surprised how many you can get. Like, we get sponsors from GC2B, Rubies, and Peppermint Lingerie, which is a local company, but Rubies and GC2B are national companies that donate to closets.
And that's something that's true everywhere. I mean, one of the top 2 requests in homeless shelters for clothes is underwear and socks. Because let's face it, first off, nobody wants your used underwear, but also, and a lot of people wear both of them until they're holy. So let's not donate them anyway. So being able to have
that, and in the trans community, underwear is a very different thing, for a lot of us, whether it's binders or tucking underwear, or whether it's other padding to accentuate body figures that may not be there. We try to offer as much of those as we can to our clients, and you'd be surprised just how many different places will provide you with stuff. We have like packers, and we've got a company that just sends them to us, and you'd be surprised what you get. It's really just, you can ask around, and there's really just a lot that you can get for trans organizations. They're really pretty nice. So.
Yeah, and it's amazing just how, to use the euphemism, intimate of how many people organizations and companies are willing to donate that, because it's such a need.
Yes.
So good. Well, thank you again for joining me today and to talk about the transition closet. I was so thrilled when I saw it when I visited Good Shepherd last year and was able to talk to you a little bit in person then.
Yes.
And if people want to get a hold of Amare and the transition closet, I've looked them up on Facebook, and I'll put links on both Facebook and the YouTube comments so that you can find them easier. Just a great resource, whether you are wanting to support the transition closet at Good Shepherd in Fayetteville, or if you want to do something similar in your own congregation, just a great resource. And so I've been wrapping these up with a blessing that has come from Pastor Julie Recker with her prayers in pajamas group, which is a Zoom conversation with the young kids, and they do a blessing at the end of each of them. Oh, you have one more thing to say? Go ahead.
Yes, one more thing before we wrap up. If you do want to start your own closet, feel free to contact me and ask for me for resources and stuff. We do send out little packages sometimes of little starter kits for the gender affirming undergarments, or other little stuff sometimes that are just needed for the closet. But yeah, we send out little care packages and everything, and we usually love to help get people involved with tips and resources and stuff like that too. So if you want to start one, you're not in it alone, and we do offer tons of support. So.
Fantastic. Glad to hear that out of your mouth too. So that it is, yes, we are all in ministry together and support one another in that. So, so our blessing that I've been ending with is just inviting you to make the sign of the cross in your forehead. Hear the words that God loves you, and so do I.
God loves you, and so do I.